the phones? You feel like it's going to be an issue. It's going to be difficult for you guys to get through a school year with no phone.
I mean, me personally, I try to like live in the moment. It's like I don't really get bored of school. It's just like I'm trying to talk to friends during class. That's like more distracting to me than my actual phone.
I feel like I usually have pretty good self-restraint. Like I don't get distracted by my phone right here because I want to learn, I want to be engaged. It only benefits you to not go on your phone. It doesn't benefit you to be unengaged. But I don't think that's the case for everybody at the same time. Like I definitely see people getting distracted because of technology, but at the same time, I think that's a lesson you have to learn. Like you can't just rely on the system to teach you those life skills about self-restraint.
Welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast. This is the final episode of season 7, and what better episode than to have it be the last week of the Velocity Internship program. I'm so glad to be sitting here with, why are we giggling already? See, I didn't even say anything funny yet. I'm so glad to be sitting here with two interns that have really blessed my summer, Allegra Martin and Malik Daoud. You guys are at Mission Vista High School, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. You guys say hi to everybody.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be here.
Right on. So, we're gonna have some fun with the conversation. Obviously, you guys are already laughing before we even get started. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our traditional Same Business, Different Day episode first, and then we'll kind of just roll into some other questions. Who knows where this might take us? And so we gotta, please, Allegra, help me zip Malik's lip with all the, because he's got questions and questions on top of questions. But we're gonna start off with me asking the question. But no, seriously though, first of all, where were you born? Malik, you go first.
I was born here in California, I think. Escondido or San Marcos, something around the lines of that.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. And is that where you grew up as well?
I grew up in like Vista, like right by the Vista High School area.
Okay.
And then it was eventually like all of our family that like lived in America was living in one house.
In America?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we eventually moved to Sacramento, and then we came back to Vista.
Oh.
Lots of moving.
What do you think attracted the family to Vista?
I have no clue, actually.
Yeah.
Because I know my grandpa was like a chef on a cruise ship.
Oh, really?
So he was able to like travel places, and I think he likes Vista, California the best. So.
Did he teach you how to make scrambled eggs?
He did not teach me how to make scrambled eggs.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
But what's interesting though, you did say your family that's in this country. So where's the rest of your family?
In Egypt. They're all, most of them are in Egypt right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. How about you, Allegra? Where were you born?
I've been living in Fallbrook, California my whole life. So I was born there and raised there, and I've grown up there ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Siblings?
No, I'm an only child.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And coming up on your 18th birthday?
Yes, October.
Yes.
It's crazy.
That's awesome. Now, are you 18 already, Mel?
No, I'm 17.
You're 17?
Yeah.
And your birthday's not till January?
January, yeah.
Okay, so you're earlier in the school year. Good. Okay, so do you guys ever have thoughts or remember thoughts of what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, tell me.
When I was younger, I was in ballet up until like 6th grade, and I always wanted to be a dance teacher.
A dance teacher?
A dance teacher, yeah. I wanted to be a ballerina for a while, like on point, and join some ballet company, and then I wanted to be a dance teacher. But then once I stopped doing dance, I think I wanted to be a vet for a little bit. I think a lot of little girls wanted to be a vet.
Why do you think that is?
I've
said that before on this show, that I get that a lot from women who want to be veterinarians.
I think girls see, Disney princess, and maybe this is a reach, but girls see Disney princesses interacting with animals and stuff like that, and I think that kind of is the target audience for Disney movies, little girls. And then so unconsciously we try to replicate that maybe, and then I've always felt like an animal lover myself, so I was like, what better way to be an animal girl, then work with them. But I didn't understand, you know, you have to euthanize animals as a vet, and it's just not for me. Sorry, I got dark real fast there. But anyways, that was my journey. But now I'm way off course with whatever my interests were when I was growing up.
That's all right, but that's pretty common though. That's pretty common. My thought as you were speaking, I'm like, okay, maybe women just think of animals as men and they just want to take care of them.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, speaking of animals, Malik, you go.
Yikes.
What did you want to be when you grew up, man?
I wanted to be a dentist.
I know you're not. I know you're not an animal, man. You're a real good guy. You're a real good guy.
I'm gonna take that personally.
You wanted to be a dentist, really?
A dentist, yeah.
What, somebody else in your family?
Yeah, my dad's a dentist. There's a lot of doctors in my family.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's also like the Arab expectation is to be a dentist, or a doctor, or an engineer. So
very interesting conversation. We've had that a lot on this show as well. Cultural influence when it comes to education and all. So has your family pushed you at all to be anything specific? Are they forcing you to be a doctor?
No, they're not forcing me. It's because like they definitely hated being forced to be like a doctor and stuff. So they wanted to like leave the freedom to like the kid to decide.
So the time's finally changing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Finally learning.
Yeah, you got lucky then. How about you, Allegra? Was your family actually wanting you to be a dance teacher or wanting you to be anything in particular?
No.
Or you felt are you feeling, because you guys are still young. I'm asking you like it's so far ago. But are you feeling like you have the freedom to be whatever you want to be?
I think so. I mean, my parents have always encouraged me, whatever your passions are, chase that. And I'm really lucky to have had that experience. You know, when I was interested in being on, like, at one point in my life, here's another segue. I wanted to be on Hamilton and I wanted to be a Broadway star.
See, that's like just a couple of years ago. That's what I'm talking about. You guys are so young.
Yeah.
It was like at one point in my life. You mean like, way back in the day.
It was like 6th grade. That was
a couple of years ago.
6 years ago, 5 years ago. But yeah, I've never felt any pressure.
Hamilton would be dope, though. Hamilton would be awesome. Yeah. You still have a chance.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Journalist and on Hamilton. Jeez,
Yeah. So
cool.
journalist, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
What about you, Malik? You have decisions about what you want to be?
No clue yet.
Yeah.
Definitely like something with like math related. Maybe marketing or finance. Those are two things I'm like leaning towards. And possibly dentistry, but it's a whole bunch of things.
Wherever the wind takes you.
Yeah.
What I like about this point in the internship program is that it's right between your junior and senior year. It's a real pivotal year, right? And then right after, like right as you get into senior year, it's like college application time and stuff, right? So, but at the same time, we talk about, you know, some folks don't actually just go straight to college right after high school, or they have other thoughts of what they want to do. Maybe trade schools, you know, maybe just go directly into an internship and learn on the job kind of thing. There's so many options, and, you know, none of them are necessarily wrong, but I'm interested in, you know, what you guys are thinking about in terms of, you know, higher education.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I definitely want to go to like a university because it's just something that like I want to continue my education. I don't want to be like stupid per se.
Okay.
It's not that like people that don't go to college are stupid. It's just like I want to try to get as much knowledge in as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, but you know, and I'm not trying to talk you out of school for sure. I want you to go to university. I want you to do everything that you want to do. But I would say, you know, obviously learning on the job is some of the best education you're going to get, right? Because when you're actually applying things, and that's why you have classes like, right, the applied mathematics or applied economics and stuff like that. You're actually getting to put those to use as opposed to things that you're just reading and seeing them in theory, right? But there's absolutely nothing wrong with college education and a degree. But then you still have to turn around and translate that into a job, you know? Well, you guys were looking at something the other day in the office where you could just look up what your possibilities are of getting into this
simulators.
School. What's it called?
Chancing simulators.
Okay, so what is that? Explain that to me.
So we were using College Vine, right? I think was the app. You can put in like your statistics and your grade and your SAT scores and then select a school, and based on what I think previous students have been accepted with, it compares the two and then correlates your chances with that. So it's probably not, I don't think it's all accurate either. But
Definitely not accurate.
yeah.
Sure, but I mean, it's something. It gives you an idea where you
Right.
might even want to apply to,
Yeah.
right? Because
Exactly.
applications are hard. Like, that's a lot of work,
Yeah.
put in all those applications. And if you feel like it's a low possibility of you getting into one of them, then it's just like, maybe I won't apply there.
Yeah.
I'll apply
Right.
to these. We didn't have those, obviously, when I was growing up. It's so crazy that that's available, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what about you, higher education? What do you think?
Definitely college and university. But like you were saying, like, I definitely want education that will help me be prepared for entering the real world. Like, I'm kind of like, throughout the application process and the college research process, I've been leaning more towards schools that have a little bit of a different approach to education rather than just a research university. Like, UCLA used to be my dream school, but what I've heard from previous students is that they don't feel prepared to go into the real world because it's all, you're just learning about what's behind the scenes. Rather than at schools like George Washington, which is on my list right now, like, they really prepare you for what goes on in the real world and stuff like that by providing, like, I mean, research universities have labs and things like that, but they have a little bit more of a liberal arts approach and set you up for internships and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so journalism is where you're headed, right?
Yes, hopefully.
What do you mean, hopefully?
Well, it could change. It could change.
Okay.
But I mean, right now I'm pretty set on it. But, you know, maybe I take more classes and realize it's not for me. But I do love it right now. So.
What are you doing now that works within that? Like, whether it's in school or on your daily, what are you reading? Like, how often are you studying what journalists do in what you're going to be learning in college?
Yeah, well, I took a journalism class my freshman year, and I worked on the student newspaper there, and I did like it. And then I've been involved with yearbook since freshman year. Now I'm editor-in-chief this past year and going into this year.
Yeah.
At a camp that I did earlier this summer called Boys and Girls State, I was the publication or the publisher up there. So I was kind of responsible for organizing the work that we were doing. So I've had a lot of, I mean, not a lot of experience, but I've had a taste for the different aspects of journalism. Like, we did recordings for broadcasting up at the camp, so I got to see broadcast journalism and stuff like that. And then at a program that I did my sophomore year, I got to write for the San Diego Diplomacy Council's newsletter. So that was kind of the hands-on experience. But day to day, I kind of interact with the news like most people do. Like, my parents are really the type to always have the news playing. So you see what journalists do each day, like what it's like to be on the scene.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't want to be, you know, Christine Amanpour, you know, off being a foreign correspondent in the war zones and stuff like that.
Okay.
Christine Amanpour. But more someone who's just involved with the community and local scenes and stuff like that.
Local.
So, I mean, not like I want to stay in Fallbrook forever and report out of there, but reporting out of DC and still traveling nationally, but not maybe as dangerous, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You want to do a job and you want to live long.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong
Exactly.
with that. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. How about you, Malik? Same question.
What was the question?
What are you doing? And I understand it. I mean, you're kind of saying that you're not even really sure exactly what your major is going to be in the future. But, like, you know, let's say it's finance, let's say it's marketing. What kind of work have you been doing that's leading you and helping you get to your future?
Oh, definitely talking to my uncle. He's a financial consultant for E-Trade.
Nice.
And he's like told me a lot about finance. I've like shadowed him for a while and watched him like show me how to to buy stocks, how to sell stocks, and just the whole trading aspect. And I've also just like taken a whole bunch of math courses because majority of the courses I've taken at my school are math classes. I just find it fun to me, and it just comes easy, like right away.
I can't
I
really
know
do
you
that.
I love it.
do math as well, but
Who you said, me?
Yeah.
You pointing at me?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to talk about Allegra. I was on your side.
Sorry. Okay, you guys both took in math. But
Thank you.
see,
Okay, Allegra.
she
I'm on
can't
your
admit it.
side.
That's the only problem.
No, she admitted it. She was saying it the
I'm
whole
pretty
time.
sure.
She's the whole time. I mean, we are wordsmiths.
Okay, yeah. I
Okay,
can't do my
yeah.
words.
Don't make me quiz
ChatGPT,
you.
let's see. Oh, come on now.
Don't ask me like a whole vocab quiz, how to spell anything.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it's all good. We work together. That's
Yeah,
why we're a
exactly.
good team.
Collaboration.
I'm interested in what you guys, because obviously all of this eventually ends up in the workforce, right? And so that's, again, why I'm glad about having this internship program. And shout out to, the Vista Chamber of Commerce for putting this together. I think it's brilliant for the students as well as for the local businesses. I think it's just absolutely amazing. And like I said, I do think it's a very important time in your own personal education and life, that junior to senior year. Now it's your first job, right, Allegra?
It is my first
now
job.
you were already working at Starbucks, right?
And Dave's Hot Chicken first.
And Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. So so how you became a foodie working at Dave's Hot Chicken?
Yeah, actually, Dave's Hot Chicken really made me get disgusted by fried food.
Okay.
I quit eating fried food for a while because of
I can understand.
feeling like just working in that environment was bad.
You.
Can't be good for you. So, I haven't been inside of one, but So
It smells like grease.
yeah, and it gets all into your pores and everything. Yeah, it's terrible. But regardless, frontline workers, they're out there doing the thing, and we appreciate that, they're serving somebody.
Hot
Yeah.
chicken.
Just not me. But beyond that, what I'm interested in is the interview process. Okay, so you've
To
been
get
here
here?
obviously for a couple of jobs here.
Yeah.
But this was your first job. What was it
Yeah.
like stepping into doing an interview,
Yeah.
a job interview?
Well, this is my first real world experience with jobs, but I also had to be interviewed for Boys and Girls State and then for yearbook editorial team. So those were smaller interviews, but I think they did prepare me for this. Like, one thing you learn, I guess, is always ask your interviewer questions and things like that. And I remember asking you some questions. I remember being really nervous too, though, because this was hopefully, going to be my first job at the time. And so I was like, how is this going to compare to something that's not necessarily as real world as the other ones, or something that is as real world compared to my other ones? But I think it definitely taught me a lot about what I want to portray about myself when being interviewed. What skills do I want to showcase, and also, how best to be prepared for the interview too. So.
And then how did I react to that interview?
How did you react?
Yeah.
You offered me the job.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Now, Malik, you weren't in the country when I interviewed you.
It was over Zoom.
So I started to think about it. But you were back home. You were back in Egypt when I interviewed you. And so, I'm glad to have you guys, both of you guys.
Thanks.
Okay, so before we get into a couple of other questions that I have for you guys, why don't you tell us all about what your experience has been like, what you've been doing, and what your experience has been like over the summer.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Sure. So I feel like my role within the internship has kind of been being a productions and communication intern. So I've been responsible for a lot of the outreach with the different podcasts within the network and coordinating production interviews, and then being a part of those production interviews and asking the podcasts, what do you want? What are your goals? How can we help you throughout the summer? Things like that, and just kind of assisting with the production side. But I feel like I've learned a lot about the business aspect as well. That was something coming in here I really wanted to learn more about. Even though I'm not, planning on pursuing business, I feel like it's a really important skill to learn. So just learning the 5 steps to a sale and Zeke's business plan have been really interesting. So that's kind of been my role within things. But
go ahead, man.
I've been managing the social media and just marketing aspect of A Different Day Radio, and it's been pretty fun throughout this whole time. And I really enjoyed it,
Okay.
And
tell me more about the fun.
Oh yeah, we scramble eggs. We had a cook-off the other day, but it's
taboo.
Taboo too. We go
Play
out
a
for
few
taboos.
games.
And then what else do we do?
Interns Got Talent.
Interns Got Talent.
Yeah.
We should have shown that on here too. Hey, you got the water bottle?
No. I don't want them to drink cold
Thinking
ones.
about it. Actually, not that
Check
cold.
the Instagram to see what we're talking about. Okay.
Yep. Follow us. Check us out. Okay. Okay. I do have more questions. I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask you guys. Okay. Really, just about. I'm interested in like best advice that you've had throughout your life so far that is going to take you into your future, into the business world.
Do you want to go?
I think you should go. I got to think about my advice.
Okay.
I think the best advice I've ever heard was just to always stay true to myself, and that's something that I've really carried with me. My Grammy told me that. She's 101 this next week, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've really held that close to my heart as I've navigated life, and I think it's especially impactful in high school when it's easy to face peer pressure and a lot of the, the pressure that's on high schoolers to maybe modify themselves or adjust themselves to fit in better. But I feel like I've tried really hard to stay true to my morals. And I feel like a defining moment for me was also up at, sorry to bring it up again, but up at my camp this past June, I got interviewed for Model Citizen. They asked me a few questions about just my beliefs and stuff like that. And I kind of felt like my answers weren't going to be what they were hoping for to win the award, but I went with it and then I ended up winning it. So
the Model Citizen Award. Don't just brush that off. You won the Model Citizen Award.
Thanks.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, that was kind of just solidified for me that that's going to get you far in life if you hold what's important to you close to your heart, and especially going into journalism where ethics are really important too.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. How about some good advice, Malik?
Definitely just laugh a little, You can't just go into everything else serious. You got to know how to laugh a little.
You definitely have followed that advice.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little dark, Malik.
Yeah, even if it's a little dark. Just find a way to make humor out of the situation and not just like always thinking negative in a way. It's just
That's so true.
Always think with like a half full type
optimistic.
Mindset. Yes.
Notice that our sign isn't here, but if you remember the how it looks, it's the briefcase and the sunglasses, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's really about that balance, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, you want to be serious, you want to be focused, you want to know what your path is and what you're trying to get to, but at the same time, you also have to have some kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right. You have to balance the business and pleasure.
Yeah.
Because you want to live to be 101 and above. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to live long, seriously. And if you just, now, of course, in any business, in any work, you're going to have to grind, right? It's going to be some hard times. But as you guys can see with the way that we've done business over the summer is that there's some flexibility there. Okay, so whether or not you own your own business, you can still earn flexibility.
Right.
And the way to earn flexibility is by being really good at your job.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't own your own business, also, I want you to think as an entrepreneur.
This podcast is brought to you by YourInsurancePlace.com. Owning a business is hard work. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it every single day. You need a partner who understands the ins and outs of insuring small to medium-sized businesses. For over 40 years, our California Property and Casualty Insurance Agency has insured businesses just like yours. We've seen it all, and we've learned a thing or two about what it takes to keep your business protected. That's why we offer free policy assessments. We'll take a look at your policy and let you know if there are any gaps in your coverage. Let us help you to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Your Insurance Place.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're the hosts of I Like Beer, the podcast. Teachers by day, beer drinkers by night.
We promote local breweries. We toast, roast, and pour one out for all things beer and life related.
Come play beer or not a beer with us.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts at I Like Beer, the podcast.
The Film Hub is the future of co-working in downtown Vista. Get energized in an inspiring work environment that is built for your success. With multiple membership options for workspace and private offices, you can become a part of our co-working community. The Film Hub makes it easier to produce the professional content your business needs. From video production, live streams, photo shoots, or in-person events, you can create all this and more in our audio and video facilities. Love your work and where you accomplish it. The Film Hub.
And to think as an entrepreneur means that you're trying to be the boss, be as good as your boss, know what the boss does, how they do things, because now you can grow.
Right.
And they're going to give you some more freedom. They're going to give you some more rope, because they're like, well, shoot, if I got to go to the golf course today, I know Allegra and Malik can take care of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now they're putting you in a position where now you have flexibility. So I have given you guys, we've had a lot more fun this summer than maybe some of my past summers. Because when it's time for you guys to work, you guys just put your head down, knock it out, and then we can just, play some taboo again. Work on our words and stuff. So, I think that's great, and so I'm really happy for you guys and proud of you guys. So
thank you.
All right, so you got questions for me?
Yeah.
You ask them.
All right. Well, I know we were talking about earlier, one of the thoughts that you've had is just kind of who have your inspirations been throughout your life and have set you maybe on the path that you're on right now, or inspired you in different ways?
Set me on the path, I would definitely say my father.
Well, he's in the business with you, right?
Yeah, right. So it's a family business, and it's kind of the same kind of thing where it's easier to do what your predecessor has done, because you've been watching them do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so now you have to figure out how to be as good as them or better.
Yeah, exceed that.
So if I didn't necessarily exceed it in production, I have exceeded it in comfort, right? Because the way he got to where he's gotten was just grind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll just get to there and breathe a little, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, like the Olympics are going on right now, right? And you see world records keep getting broken, right?
Yep.
Because somebody else strived and worked really hard to get that first world record.
Right.
And now you're like, okay, well, I saw him do it. I know it's possible.
Yeah.
Now let me take it a little bit smoother, and then I'll break it too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I would definitely say my father as inspiration, and then I'll always say my kids, because that's what I work for. Yeah, absolutely.
What did you want to be when you grew up, or when you were younger?
Let's flip it around.
I lied. I've said this many times, but people always got excited when I told them I wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But that wasn't true.
Didn't cross my mind. Didn't even like science.
Where did the notion for a doctor come into your head? Was it?
So when you're a child, adults influence you, right? And so it's just like, look, you can do, and you're like, yeah, I can, if that makes you happy, you know?
Right.
And so that's really where it was. And, I love, obviously, you gotta love medicine, and you love doctors and all of that stuff. It's just not my field.
Yeah.
It's just not where I thought I could accomplish. It's just something I just kept saying because it made people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the real reason?
Kind of sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the real thing you wanted to be when you were younger?
I had no idea.
Dang.
Yeah. It never really crossed my mind. We'll just keep saying that.
Yeah.
So I can't even think of like what was in the back of my head or what I wanted to do. I know some people say, I want to be an athlete or whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't even saying that, because you say that, it's just like, it's kind of unrealistic, So I wasn't really, I was just kind of cruising through life. Now, one thing about me though, is I moved through school really fast, and I didn't really like school.
Really?
Moved to school really fast. I graduated high school at 16.
Jeez.
But I wanted to just get to work.
Yeah.
Honestly. Anybody who could pay me, let's do that, and let's just get in the workforce and start working.
Right.
And that's just how,
Were you
my
focused
life
on the
went.
money mainly, or were you focused on just like doing something you wanted?
No, I was focused on real life.
Okay.
I didn't think that school was real life.
Yeah, that's true.
That was just where my head was. Not necessarily true.
I mean, sometimes it is true. Like you're doing.
To me, it was true. Because I could get an education in the real world.
Right.
That's true.
Learn by doing, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
That was really my mentality, is how fast can I start a job?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't really for money. my family was middle class. I was, fine. We weren't struggling.
Yeah.
But, and it wasn't that I needed my own money. I was pretty much taken care of, but I wanted to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to work. I wanted to be among the workers.
Yeah.
I took 4 years of Spanish in high school, and I was working in the kitchens at restaurants,
Spaghetti
learning more
factory.
Spanish. Spaghetti factory, Armadillo Willie's. I had a bunch of jobs working in the kitchen. Yeah, it was a good barbecue. But just working in restaurants and learn more Spanish there than I did in the 4 years of high school because it's it's active. It's actually putting it in action in person.
Right.
So that was me. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I just knew I wanted to get to working as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then having kids.
Okay.
Yeah, that was always a goal. I wanted to be a father.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me tune into my question list real fast.
I'm ready.
Okay. Which one of these should we go for?
It's gonna be about food if you ask Malik.
Mighty Moo, yeah, I'm making stuff up.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Who do you rely on for support in your life?
Support? Teamwork. Anybody who is part of my team. I guess you always reach the family. You hope they're on the same side as you. Any co-workers, you hope they're on the same side as you.
Right.
And you don't look to the detractors, the people who are, have something negative to say about you or how you do things.
Have you had haters?
Oh, sure. I'm sure.
Everybody has haters.
I think everybody does, and different people use them in different ways. Some people feel, sad about them. Some people use them as motivation. Me personally, I don't mind them.
Okay.
They don't bother me either way. They don't really help me. I don't think that they necessarily motivate me.
Yeah.
But I'm
just
not
kind
one
of
that.
there
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah. It's okay. So I'll give you something.
Yeah, let's hear this. Let's unpack that.
Because I'm trying to make it not come out wrong.
Yeah.
But I have a level of self-confidence that not necessarily everybody has, and I wouldn't expect everybody to have. And I don't want to sound cocky,
Yeah.
but self-confidence is an important thing, especially in the field of sales. So we talked about sales, and we talked about the 5 steps to a sale. You can't do that if you don't have confidence.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy from an insecure person.
You can't.
True.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, it wouldn't make sense if you did.
Yeah.
And so that confidence is just uber important to me in how I live my life. It's forward motion at all times. And so it doesn't matter if somebody has something negative to say about you. You have to keep moving forward or else you're not going to feed the family.
Yeah.
Because every dollar you make in sales is based on your ability to convince, ability to close a deal. So if you don't sell today, you don't eat tonight. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So confidence at all times, period.
Has there ever been a point where you felt like you had to fake it till you made it?
Sure. I mean, I guess that's a, interesting question. I might still be faking it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you convinced yourself.
Yeah. You get in the mirror and say, "You are so handsome," while you're crying. No, wipe your face off and go. Yeah. That's not the point. The point of the confidence isn't about, it is internal. At least for me, it is internal. But you have to exude confidence. So you might be faking it.
Yeah, I
you
get
might
that.
be faking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the list. Hold on.
We should ask him questions about food.
Food.
Now.
Can you take it
knew
away
it was
then, Malik?
coming.
That's your
Okay,
expertise.
what's,
I knew it was coming. Don't ask
Why'd you
me
quit fast food? Like, what's the main reason?
I got sick one night.
After eating what?
Bacon cheeseburger.
From
Rallies.
Oh, is that why you don't eat pork?
Yeah, that was the last time I ate pork.
really?
That was the last time I ate pork. I
Food
blamed it on the
poisoning?
pork. I still ate the beef. Yeah, it was poisoning of some kind. But I blamed it on the pork, and that was the last time I ate it. And so, yeah, no fast food. So what's that, 31 years ago, maybe? Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even notice them. Like you drive by Wendy's and Carl. I swear, I don't know when's the last time I saw Golden Arches. I promise you.
McDonald's?
Yeah.
Oh, Golden Arches. I thought that was like a.
No, I'm not that old. I'm just making up fast food places.
Well, I didn't know what Armadillo Willie's was, so.
Yeah, it's just a small chain.
Okay.
It's a small chain.
Okay.
But yeah, you drive right by them. Don't notice them. I don't notice fast food.
Do you feel like more people in America need to rely less on fast food?
Yeah. Well, there's such thing as food deserts, right? So you wind up getting put into this world of fast food, but you don't have an option that is, as inexpensive but healthier.
Yeah. Like when
and-
you're on a road trip and there's only those epicenters of fast food and stuff.
Well, you have that in neighborhoods as well. So those affect, certain folks.
Right.
But, in my experience, it's also addictive for some reason. I don't know what's actually in it, in some of this
It's
stuff.
all fake.
But, I mean, let's just be clear. Like, when you talk about McDonald's, everybody knows those fries are different than everybody else's. It's like, these are great fries.
Yeah.
They're not McDonald's fries. You will say that for the rest of your life,
True.
and nobody can explain why.
True.
I don't know. I don't know what's in them, and I'm not
They fry 'em with
accusing
cocaine,
anything.
honestly.
I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I don't know. Yeah, but they're different,
That's true.
Yeah.
It's
You
also
just have
like-
to also know how to turn your brain off of it and just say, I'm not going to have that. Okay, so I got a question for you, because I
what's
just
the
asked my brother this question the other day. And I'm going to ask Malik specifically.
Okay.
I'm asking both. I should ask both of you. Do you actually believe in hunger?
No, I think it's definitely a gimmick. Like your brain is like wanting to entertain yourself with eating,
Okay.
and that's definitely how I see it.
Really?
Yeah, and I actually like figured that out in a class. It was AP psychology.
Okay.
They're saying,
Oh,
like,
true.
Hunger it's in your brain.
Uh-huh.
You are trying to eat to entertain yourself,
Yeah.
and that's how it is.
I mean, I think I agree with you at some points. Like, I think I'm definitely kind of a boredom eater. Like, when I'm sitting on my bed scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, I'm like, okay, well, I'll go upstairs and get something to eat. Like, I'll go have a snack. But after a long hike, when you're not bored, you're hungry. So that's what makes me think it's not all boredom. Like, your body still has to tell you, I'm hungry. Like, you have to feed me. But I think, once you get in a routine of snacking, that is when it becomes a mindset too. So I think there's levels to it.
Yeah. I think that a lot of folks believe that it's time to eat instead of I'm actually
Right.
hungry. You
That's
have
a
one
good point.
grumble in your stomach and you could just sip water and see if you're still hungry 10 minutes later or something
Yeah.
like that. It's but I think that kind of also influences, taking over the nation. So I got one more question.
Okay.
And it has to do with school, and it has to do with kind of what you were just saying
Okay.
about scrolling and scrolling. Let's talk a little bit about school. And I understand that they're looking to take the phones out of school for one
They are
thing.
actually
They
this year.
did at registration. They said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
How do you think that parents and the students are going to react to how are you guys going to deal with that throughout the school year?
I definitely think parents are going to be annoyed because the kids are going to be on the phones no matter what. And there's going to be that one teacher that's like really chill, saying,
Yeah.
like, use the phones. I don't care. Like,
Okay.
Well, the principals are going to crack down regardless at the same
Yeah.
time.
I mean, even
Well, you guys
then-
know I produced the Vista Unified School District's podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're
We-
probably aware of that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so maybe
yeah.
I should be quiet.
No,
like,
no,
right?
no, I'm not going to tell you
He's
anything. I'm just
listening.
no. I'm only saying that to say that I just have insight on the things that they're cracking down on that,
Yeah.
and I understand that vaping and stuff is crazy at school
Yeah.
as well.
It is.
Like it's wild. how
There's
much
definitely
that's going
times when
on.
I've just like walked in bathrooms and it's just a whole bunch of kids vaping.
In
and,
the
like,
big stall?
big stall. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
wild.
rough.
Yeah.
When you get to a certain age, you don't go into a stall with more than one person. I don't care what the purpose is. Okay, so But the phones, you feel like it's going to be an issue. It's going to be difficult for you guys to get through a school year with no phone.
I mean, me personally, I try to like live in the moment. It's like I don't really get bored of school. It's just like I'm trying to talk to friends during class. That's like more distracting to me than my actual phone.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I usually have pretty good self-restraint. Like, I don't get distracted by my phone right here because I want to learn, I want to be engaged. It only benefits you to not go on your phone. It doesn't benefit you to be unengaged because then you're going to flunk a test.
Sure.
And I want to succeed in school, so. But I don't think that's the case for everybody at the same time. Like, I definitely see people getting distracted because of technology, but at the same time, I think that's a lesson you have to learn. Like, you can't just rely on the system to teach you those life skills about self-restraint. Like, so I think there's other things that they could have focused on at the same time, like improving just general well-being of your students, focusing on mental health, because I feel like especially at our school, like it's very academics focused. So, I mean, I see the argument for taking away the phones, but I definitely also feel like there's bigger concerns at hand too.
I feel like they should have put some like grading system in place. Like you're on your phone, you lose some points. And like if it's an emergency, it's okay. But you're on your phone, you're just not paying attention in class. You're gonna lose points no matter what. But make it more severe.
Yeah.
It should be the kid's loss, not like the teachers feel like they're just punishing them by like taking it away. And it's
Well, also I feel like it's tricky too because their argument is like, oh, well, your parents can call the office if it's an emergency, but that is so much effort. Like my mom can't go through all the effort if she needs me home for something like right away. Like she'd rather just text me. I know my mom would feel that way, and I know I'd feel more comfortable knowing that my phone's right there if something happens and I need to text my mom. Or what if I'm having a bad day and I need to text my parents about something? So I feel like that strategy in specific, like, just call the office. Like, your parents will get to you if they really need to, isn't as effective as the goal was intended to be. You know, but I mean, the school year hasn't happened yet, so I don't know.
Sure, right. This is all an experiment, right? But I think it's probably a valid experiment.
Yeah.
So you said as it's intended to be, and so I'm wondering what you think their reasoning is behind the school district wanting to do that.
It's definitely to make the kids like ready for college. I feel like that's always their excuse. They want kids to like not like they want kids to watch the lectures in college and not just like go on their phones during the lectures.
Well, professors aren't going to crack. Like, if we're in a 300-person lecture, they're not going to be like, you need to put your phone away right now, stuff like that. So I feel like maybe it's also has to do with just like engagement in classes. Like I was saying, I could turn to my right and there would be 5 people on their phones. Like teachers don't like feeling not listened to, and I've heard that from the teachers that I'm close with, which I totally get. And I think also maybe it's a cyberbullying concern too. You know, recording people in class if they're doing something that you think is cringe or something like that. So I think that's what the goal was, those 2 points.
Yeah, I think that your first point about the engagement and essentially you're talking about maturity, learning how to just restrain yourself. And that's it goes back to our food conversation, right? But learning how to have restraint is very important for your maturity and growth in life. Now, these generations are changing, right? Younger folks aren't as engaged in that way, but they're engaged in other ways. And some of them are being really successful with wherever they're engaging, especially, you know, as ADHD is on an uptick and everything too, right? It's all going in a different direction. But maturity is one thing. Another thing, though, when it comes to that is the social media and the bullying.
Yeah.
I think that right there, from an insurance standpoint, even creates major liability for a school district.
I get that.
Know, things that could happen. Now you got parents screaming at the adults. You know, they're screaming at, you know, the people, why aren't you watching? Like, why is this happening? Why did that happen? And it can be catastrophic, the things that can happen. Even, you know, somebody's got the video camera in the stall that you're talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Or in like the locker room too. They were strict about that last year, but I can imagine even more so now.
Right.
And there have been scandals within like our community about phone usage and stuff like that. So.
Well, you know, I want to say good luck with the, you know, the school year that's coming. I'm sure it's gonna be great for you. I know. It's fun being a senior though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm excited about it. All the senior
I mean,
events.
without a phone, though, how am I supposed to have fun, right?
I'm sure you got friends around, Malik. So,
A phone, yes, friends.
what are the classes you're studying this year? What clubs or activities or anything? What are you going to be doing this year?
I'm going to be in Link Crew, which is like what it does is they welcome the freshmen onto campus.
Okay.
And kind of like
That's
get them engaging. And it's
Like throwing
activities
balls
and
at
stuff.
them?
Yeah, like throwing balls at the freshmen.
Right.
But just any way to get them engaged, pretty much. You just you got to
good
think
or
out
bad.
the box with that class club. Because I'm the vice president of it, so I have to like get kids going with that. So
Wonderful.
I'm sure
yeah,
you do.
and then I'm also doing AP Government, AP Calculus 1 and 2, and then AP what else?
Are you taking lit?
I'm taking lit, right?
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna switch out of it because I might as well just do the class at a college because I know I'll fail the AP test.
What do you mean you know you failed?
Okay, so you have to take an AP test at the end of the year.
Test?
Yeah, but like
Why
the
are
thing
you
is,
predicting you're going to fail?
okay, it's because I can take the class, learn more at an actual college, and like get the credit no matter like all I need is
No
a
matter
C
your
to get
score.
the credit.
I get that.
So it's just more experience in college too. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
the main reason.
So that's your business plan.
Yeah,
I respect it. You got a plan.
exactly.
How about you, Allegra?
I'm taking yearbook, 2 terms, AP Lit, AP Gov, Calc A, B, and BC, college apps, and choir. And then I'll be involved with yearbook throughout the school year.
Wow.
And then I think I'm starting journalism club with my yearbook teacher.
Did you say choir?
Yeah.
We did Interns that Got Talent. She had to almost break her finger trying to split an apple. You didn't want to sing?
No, well, I'm not a good singer. I'm just taking the class for fun.
Okay.
Don't you just need the credits?
No, well, I do. Yes, I need my VAPA credit too. But hey, maybe this is my pathway to getting on Hamilton. You never know.
Here we go. Here we go. I look forward to it. Well, like I said, I look forward to you guys' next school year, and hopefully
Thank
you
you.
keep in touch with us and let us know how things are going. I'm really glad that you're enjoying the internship.
Oh yeah.
That's been fun.
Well, we owe a huge thanks to you too for being a great boss.
Yeah,
It's fun. I'm having a blast. So
yeah.
Me
thank you
too.
guys for sitting down with this. We thank your parents for raising good kids. You know. No, really appreciate you guys, and looking forward to the future.
Thanks.
Yeah, and all of our audience should look forward to the future as well because it's still bright. Allegra Martin, Malik Daoud,
Zeke
Same
Corley.
Biz Pod, at SAMEBIZPOD. Thank you guys for tuning in to season 7. It was a great season, might have been our best yet of the Same Business Different Day podcast. We have a lot going on for a Different Day radio for our future, and just stay tuned. Stay tuned for the future. Like I said, the future is bright. Peace.
Peace. Bye.
Peace, bye.